Happy Friday and welcome back to the Good Wife podcast. My name is Rachel. Excited that you are back again for another conversation on this channel. If you're new, please consider subscribing to this channel and recommend it to a friend, a family member, someone you care about. We have conversations on marriage, family, faith, womanhood, and all the nice things in between. Sometimes the ugly things also, but we learn from the ugly things. And so if that's your vibe, please consider subscribing and join the Good Wife community. I'm with a special someone, and I'm going to report her because I have struggled to get her to the show. But she's here finally. I know sometimes calendars don't align and we have so many responsibilities, but finally I get to have a conversation with Lois Kwikiriza.
Hello, hello.
For those of you who don't know Lois, she's going to tell us about herself. She's a mom, she's a wife, and we're going to be talking about blended families. I know that that's something that many of you have requested for us to discuss. And initially when I got the requests, I was like, who is going to come and talk about their things? Because people don't like to talk about their things. But somebody recommended Lois and she graciously agreed to come share her story. And so here she is. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rachel. Yeah. Apologies, Banake.
Apologies have been received.
I'm so guilty. But I'm here now.
You're here now. Yeah.
And I hope we'll have a great time together.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Before we get into our conversation, a big shout out to the amazing people I partner with, Rissa Naturals, makers of natural skincare products, Newmans Foods, and TCN Studios, who are behind the production of the Good Wife content. If you love the production, the lighting, the sound, and everything you see, please pay them a visit. Located in Kulambiro, but their contacts are as well in our description box, and you can get in touch for amazing production work. So with that being said, we usually start this show with icebreakers. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? So I'll ask you a light one and then a reflective one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah? Okay, so what's a hobby or trend that you tried and you immediately gave up on?
A hobby or a trend I tried that I immediately gave up on. That's a good one.
With your busy schedule.
With my busy schedule, let me say it was cooking.
Cooking? Okay.
I love to cook. But you remember during COVID, there was this whole thing, make your own meals, you know, as if retired and nanny and maid. Bruh, they are all fully employed. Fully.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, every now and again, I'll try and whip up something.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
But you're busy. I mean, you do have a demanding job.
I get tired.
Yeah, and you get tired.
I get tired.
Yeah.
And I think cooking requires you to come from it's passion.
Yeah.
But it requires energy
and creativity. Yeah.
Well, YouTube has sort of
creativity.
I don't have to struggle so much.
Yes. Yes.
But I think there has to be, you know, that interest. Also, it's like, you know, shopping the ingredients, getting the stuff together, the prep work, and then also just getting it right. You have to have a couple of iterations before you really crack it. Because there's YouTube, but there's the reality, right?
This is true.
And sometimes the ingredients, they're not what's here, so you have to improvise.
Yes.
So the whole thing, it worked for all of 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Well done.
That was it. I was like, I told my maid, hope come back.
Please come back.
You learn the things and do them.
Yeah. Yeah, and as long as you have food on the table,
this
I
is
think,
it.
yeah.
This is it. So I think that was it for me.
Okay. What does being at peace look like for you right now?
Oh, I like this one. Because it's something it's a journey I've been on. I think for me, being at peace is completely giving up control to the Holy Spirit. Completely. Like in the middle of a storm.
Yeah.
Like everything can be going wrong.
Yeah.
The kids are sick. Someone resigns. At work, it's hot. In the side hustle, you know, things, the math is not mathing.
It's not mathing.
And in the middle of it, the Holy Spirit says, I got you.
And you surrender.
That is peace.
That. What does the Bible call it? A peace that makes no sense.
That one that surpasses understanding.
Yes.
That one. I've experienced it.
Yeah.
And it took a while because naturally you want to pick up the burden again.
Yep.
And run with it and think about it. And even go to the Holy Spirit and say, let's have a discussion. Are you sure about this thing? Right. So just getting to that point where you're just like, I'm not even going to have a conversation about it. I'm just going to give thanks.
Yeah.
I'm going to be grateful and I'm going to sleep.
Right. First eat some good food and then sleep. Yeah.
Let's sleep.
Eat some good food. No, I mean that has been a journey for me. I mean, even just yesterday I was having a moment where I was going through something and I was like, okay, so this is what it means to feel out of control. So what's the next best step? To just give it to God, because he's the one who knows, like I thought about you, because like you said, as human beings, we're going to think about all sorts of angles. Like, how do I go about this? Should I call somebody for advice? Should I pray? Like, what do I do? And then I realized I was out of moves. So I'm like, okay, this is what you mean by surrender. Do not be anxious for anything. Give it to God. Eat some food and rest.
Like, I've even gotten to a point where my husband always teases me about this, but I have my rom-coms that I watch. And that's when I really want peace. I watch them. Because I'm like, let me watch some drama, some cheesy moves. But I'm not going to worry about this thing.
Yep.
Because my husband is always teasing me. He's like, Lolo, really? What are you watching?
What are you watching?
You're burning brain cells. I'm like, yeah, but this is my happy place. It's a place where I can recharge. Or I can just disappear for a while.
Yeah.
Disappear for a while.
Yeah.
Switch off for a while. So, I mean, you can't, honestly, I keep on asking myself sometimes how people survive without salvation.
Right.
Because the Prince of Peace is the one that lives inside of you, right? So when you need peace, he's the guy to give you that peace.
Yeah.
Because the world will not give you that peace.
No.
They give as they know how to give, honestly. But I think that real peace, that one that surpasses, honestly, the understanding, literally.
I'm with you there.
You could have, like, one of my side hustles is my farm, right? So you have orders. And so you have to coordinate remotely because the farm is far. But, everything just goes smoothly.
Yeah.
With minimal incidents. But there are times when all hell, literally, like the devils, the demons, they come.
All of them.
And they
camp there.
And everything just goes haywire.
Yeah.
And in the middle of that storm, you're like, it is well.
It is well.
It is well. We'll be fine. This will pass.
And you're not in denial. No.
It's not the problem is there.
It's there.
You figure out a solution. You're like, okay, Holy Spirit, how do we manage this? There are times when you will rely on experience, on your wisdom. But there are times when you just sit still and say, you know what, Lord, this one has played me.
It has played me, yeah.
Send help.
Yeah.
And somehow help will come.
It will show
A call will come, someone will say, hey, do you remember you told me about this thing? I'm like,
Yeah.
And they're like, I have a fix for you.
Oh, okay.
And
Help has come.
Help has come.
Yeah. I like that. I really, really, and I think everyone needs to experience the journey of surrender and accepting that there are things, many things that you cannot control, but you can give them to the one who knows all things, and just finding rest in that. Anyway, Lois, for the benefit of our audience, can you tell us a bit about yourself, who you are, and what you do?
Yeah. I think you said it at the beginning. I'm married to one man. Thankfully.
Hopefully. No, thankfully,
Thankfully to one man.
Yeah.
And we have 3 kids between the 2 of us. And as we go along, I'll unpack that.
Okay.
But I also work with Stanley Bank. I do marketing for the bank.
Okay.
Have been there. I was there, left, came back.
Then you went back.
So it's like home.
Okay.
It's really like home. Outside of that, I have a farm. I love farming. I'm an avid farmer. I can talk farming all day. It's not without its challenges, but it's very rewarding. Very rewarding. I do it with my mom and my siblings as well. Outside of that, I also have a consultancy, and I support small businesses with marketing strategies, and basically in this, the commercial space. I do that with my husband as well. And then finally, we run a coffee business together.
Yeah.
So that one is largely his baby, but I'm like in the kitchen.
You support.
I support. Also on the commercialization, really. Getting the product to the market. It's called Imara African Coffee, very beautiful coffee. And so it's that's why I said, like, on a normal day. Then, of course, my full-time job is motherhood. Yes. That's my real full-time job. That one doesn't switch off.
Nope.
So I've got two boys, 18, 15, and a 4-year-old daughter.
Oh.
She's 3 and coming on 4, but really October is far.
So a bit
3.
far.
She's 3.
Yeah.
But like 3 going on 10. So yeah, and then recently, we grew up with she's my cousin, but when my dad passed, it really just became apparent in her teenagehood, like, I would be a good fit for her.
To continue the...
Yes, but her parents are fully alive. They're my mom's sibling. And so together with my siblings, we nurture her, but she lives with us. So she's like she's really my fourth child.
Fourth child, yes.
And so we have 2 girls and 2 boys.
And 2 boys. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So she's 17 now.
Okay, so you have 2 17-year-olds,
yes,
a 15-year-old, and
emerging adults.
Yeah,
a junior adult, and a toddler.
And a toddler. Wow, interesting space. So I'm sure the audience is wondering, why is she here? She has children. Why is she talking about blended families? Where's the blendedness?
Yes.
So maybe could you explain to us that dynamic? How did you end up in, having a blended family?
Right.
To the degree that you're comfortable sharing.
No, absolutely. I mean, those who know us, Marcus, my husband is Marcus. He's talked about it ahead of me, actually.
Yeah.
And so many people have always asked, Lolo, how? So Marcus and I were both married.
Okay.
And then we got divorced. Now, from my marriage, my first marriage, I didn't have children. Then the boys, he had 2 boys in his previous marriage. And so when we got married, I inherited
2 boys.
2 precious boys.
Okay.
Right? So I'm legally their guardian.
Okay.
Here they live with us. It wasn't the case at the beginning. In the beginning, they lived with their mom. Their mom is Kenyan. She lives in Nairobi. And then as they grew older, around when I think the oldest was 8, and the middle one was 6.
Okay.
I mean, she really led the conversation about, can they move to Uganda? And me, I was thrilled.
Oh, okay.
I got to mother children, like, for free. You guys, like, what greater honor?
I know, right?
But also, I got to experience firsthand what it's like to be a mom for real.
Okay.
Because it wasn't like I had them for a period of time, then they go. Oh, no. They were with me.
They were with you
full
time, yes.
And then we had to get into this space of we're 2 moms, 1 dad.
Yeah.
And we are parenting. Right? So that's where the blend now comes
in. Yeah.
Because the blend is the boys know mommy. I remember the first conversation we had with, I used to be Auntie Lolo.
Right? Yeah, I was going to ask, what do they call you?
We get married,
and
then they're like,
Auntie Lolo.
We can't really call you Auntie Lolo, because just look weird to our friends. Like, you're the one with us, we live with you, and then we're saying Auntie. You're like, what's up?
What is this?
So we were like, we had to sit there as a family committee and be like, how do we manage this? And so I said, okay, you know what? Mom is mom, I'm mama. So from then on, I became mama.
Okay.
And mom is
she's
mom.
Mom. Wow.
Now come in my daughter, and she finds mom
and mama. Yeah.
So she's like, but you're your mama.
Yeah.
But this mom. So we've always had, like, you should see us when we're all together. It's like, because everyone will shout, mama, and then she's like, mama, and then when there's mom, she said, mom, then she said, no, mommy.
My God.
She's the one who's a bit scattered.
Yeah.
But everyone else
is aligned. Yeah.
So my bonus mom, as I call her, has a son as well from a previous relationship.
Yeah.
So we have 3 boys.
Okay.
And 1 girl.
And a girl.
So as you can imagine, she had all the boys.
Yes.
And then I had the girl.
Yeah.
So we now have 1 daughter and 3 sons.
Okay.
Now the last 2 are just in love with each other. Her
really?
Because he's, how old is Lepo? Lepo is going to be 9 or 10. I think 9. I remember. 2016 is 9. Eh?
Yeah. About 9.
9, yeah. Sweetest child.
Oh.
So these 2 have a pact, my daughter and him. So the blend gets a bit more blended.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
Because now we've got the boys, her parents, her side of the family, my side of the family, and Marcus's side of the family.
Wow.
So my kids have 3 grandmothers, 3 grandfathers, like that. Count 3s. We don't do 2s or whatever.
It's
because
3.
They've got Gogo on her side, her mother. They've got Kaka.
Yes.
They've got 2 Kakas.
2 Kakas,
mine
yes.
and his.
Yeah.
And then, then when it comes to the grandpa, like that. So the concept of a blend is like how you imagine fruits in a blender.
Yes.
And then you.
So
it's all of that coming together.
Okay.
As into one, right? I remember at the beginning it was very interesting because, at first you're still like, how do I deal with this? But that's where I thank God for Marcus.
Yeah.
Because ideally, he's the one in the middle, if you think about it.
This is true. The common denominator.
He's the common denominator. Yeah. And I think he purposed earlier on to make this work for all of us.
Yes.
For the kids, for me, for her. Because you're parenting, but you're also managing sentiment.
A dynamic.
Yeah, you're managing sentiment.
Yeah.
You're managing logistics because she lives in Kenya. So we had to agree, when do the kids come? Sometimes is it easier for them to come?
Yeah.
And we've had many of those. What happens during holidays? What happens during vacations?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And we've had to navigate all those things gradually. Gradually. It's not, it's been a 9-year journey. 10 years.
There's a lot of learning, unlearning.
Oh, yes.
Figuring things out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of sharing.
Yeah.
Sharing and communicating.
Yeah.
There are times when, like, our kids, like, one of them will throw a tantrum and you're just like,
Now what do we do?
So I'll just hand over. I'll be like, madam, help. And she'll be like, what's happening? Because I'll know she's strong in certain areas. I'm strong in some.
In others.
Marcus is better at others.
Yeah.
A case in point, she's like a super fashionista.
Oh.
Super.
Yeah.
I would rather.
Yeah.
In fact, she gave this to me.
Oh, that's nice.
I thought I should wear it so she's part of the show.
Yeah.
But she's so stylish. She styles me and everybody. Like, I'd rather she shops for us. I just can't be bothered.
Really?
Yeah.
Lois.
Her and Marcus actually are very, like, style-wise.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Nice.
Me, bruh.
You couldn't care less.
Really can't speak about. I'm just like, guys, is it red? Is it black?
it
What
black
are we
dust?
doing? It looks nice, great. And they're all like, oh, the kids, they all roll their eyes at me. They're like, mama, please, let's help you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, she'll shop.
Yeah.
And she's just perfect at it.
Nice.
So everyone, you just know, like, you're really good
strengths,
at it. So just do it. When you find the time. She's also quite incredibly busy. But when she does, it's fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Marcus has always been a strategy. He's a great leader. So many times, when we're planning things that involve, like, all the kids and dynamics and what, he'll really take the lead on stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm very much an academic. So I'm really like the one on school things, like, how you doing here.
Homework.
But then we all share. We'll be like, they're not, there's a challenge here.
Yeah.
So I think early on, we figured out to make a blend work, there's got to be transparency and honesty.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I must also say there was a sense of comfort on my part. I was very clear on the nature of their relationship and the quality of their friendship.
Okay.
They're very strong friends, right? I mean, they've got a more than 10-year history. So that's a strong foundation, right?
Yeah.
They've worked together. Interesting, we've all worked together.
Oh,
Because
okay.
we're all in the same
Industry. Yeah.
We're all in the arts, marketing, comms, events. And so we pick off learnings from each other. So professionally and in a personal level, we really complement each other, which doesn't happen for many people in a similar...
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, you may find people are very different, and perhaps that also creates some level of complexity and contention.
Yeah.
With us, because we have a similar network,
Yeah.
a similar, profession, we bump off
Each other.
yeah,
Often.
quite often.
Yeah.
Quite often. And so that has really helped.
Okay.
It really has helped. But like, if I was just to stress the honesty and the transparency, it really helps when you're struggling with a situation and you can share it with your other parents.
Yeah.
As opposed to trying to go at it alone. As an example, when they moved here, when the boys moved here, the second born struggled quite a bit. And you could understand why. He missed his mom, he missed being home. I mean, this is what he'd known for.
Familiar ground.
Yes. And now you're coming here, you're going to a new school.
New friends.
You have new friends,
Yeah.
new territory, new mom, all this kind of stuff. So it takes some adjustment.
Yeah.
The firstborn is very much like Makasake, can live in a jungle and it'll be fine. But this one is the tender one.
Yeah.
Very sensitive, very loving. So he struggled. I struggled too.
Yeah, naturally.
But luckily, I could share off that too and say, you know what, he's struggling. And she'd be like, you know what, let me come.
Okay.
And she'd come over. And sometimes it would just be like, I've just come for a meeting, but she's there. And that would help.
Okay.
Because he'd see mom and then he would like,
relax a bit.
He'd relax a bit and be happy.
Yeah.
And then when she goes, and then during the holidays, because the summers they would go there.
Yeah.
And then during, so we'd alternate. Sometimes Christmases, if we're all together, we're all together. But when we're not, because they're with us most of the time, many of the holidays they are.
Yeah.
Like even right now, he's in Nairobi because it's the Easter break. So I think that helped.
Okay.
Me personally, it really helped me. Because remember, I'm also learning these children as we go along.
Yeah.
There's no preschool.
No.
There's no first test and return.
No.
My friend, they are here.
They are here.
Yeah.
You have to figure it out. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Marcus also hadn't lived with them for a while, so he was also now living with them again. And so
you were both learning.
We're both learning. We're both learning. They're both learning how to have dad around.
Yeah.
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 So there was a lot to manage, right? But I must tell you, I really will not take credit for this stuff. It was all of us pulling our weight. We all really came together and said, let's figure this thing out and make it work. There was a lot of intentionality that we're going to make it work. Even at a friendship level.
Because as parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Marcus and her are great friends. Me and her are great friends. So agreeing that we are going to nurture this relationship, be mature about many things, and be intentional about creating a very healthy and warm environment for the kids. So that has been maybe one of the reasons we keep being asked at you guys.
How have you? I mean, the first time I heard Marcus talk about it, I was like, "What? No fighting, no drama? How?" And with men, they're not really expressive in the way. But I think one of the things he emphasized was he resolved at the beginning that he was going to make it work and there was going to be transparency.
100%.
And maybe I'm curious to hear what that conversation went like, because I believe he must have had a conversation with you that, by the way, this is going to happen, but there's intentionality in terms of me keeping the lines open. Are there any things that he did practically to show you that this is I'm an open book, I'm not hiding anything, this is how we are going to do things, that made you feel safe or secure?
I think it started at the beginning of the relationship. Okay. It's not something that happened
when you had to cross that bridge.
No. and we keep saying this to couples every time we get a chance, is guys must have that expectations conversation.
Yeah.
At the start of the relationship.
Yeah.
So me and Marcus meet at the brewery. Uganda breweries, we're working there together. And I had never met Marcus. I didn't know him. I didn't even know he had a show.
Really?
Nothing. So we are doing Johnny Walker mentorship.
Yeah.
And Marcus is the reserve ambassador. He's the one who does the mentorships. And I'm stepping in for a colleague because she was on leave.
Okay.
So I had to handle her portfolio during that time. So I meet him and we have this thing. And he's like, let's go for drinks after. The event was very successful and whatever. I'm like, cool. So we go. At that time, I'm going through a divorce. He's separated.
Okay.
But they were not living together. He was here. She was there.
She was in
Nairobi.
Nairobi.
So we begin talking about this thing. And we're like, but bro, why don't marriages work? You know? And he's like, I think it's this expectations conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm like, boy, what do you expect? Right? And so he's like, first of all, I expect the lady to know I've got kids.
Okay.
Right? And I'm a combo deal. You know, it's pick one,
Marcus.
get one free. Buy one, get one free.
Deal.
We're combo deal.
Yeah.
So that has to be clear from the onset.
From the start, yeah.
That we come as a package deal. It's not
True.
like you get one and leave the other ones. No man. And I've always loved kids, so for me I was just like, okay, no brainer there.
Yeah.
It's fine. And then he was just like, what do you expect? So I said, truth, honesty.
Yeah.
Because being blindsided only hurts everybody. It's
That's
not just
true.
one victim.
Yeah.
Everybody gets whatever.
Yeah.
So I think having that expectations made it easy for us. You know, coming back to your question, because it's like, you know, did you have that conversation? We had it way before we even began dating.
Yes.
It was, I have children. They live in Nairobi. You know, I'm good friends with their mom. And this is the situation. I said, okay, fair enough. This we can deal. So by the time we started dating and got married, and the kids, I had met them, lived with them, you know, got a sense of what they are. I remember when we got married, because we did a stealth wedding.
I saw you. We saw you. All of us, we saw you.
That was so funny. Because I knew when you've been married before,
you don't want to go through the entire.
I could not imagine doing a kwanjula and I'm there dancing.
Like, seriously,
like, nah, man.
It's not happening.
It's not happening. And you know, there are people who've done it. Maybe there's guys who've remarried and gone through the whole.
More power to you.
I don't know how they do it, you guys. Good on you. Me, nah. So I think because I travel to Nairobi and I meet her. And, you know, we have this very good conversation.
Is this before you get married?
No, after. But the secret one, not the public one.
Okay.
And so it was just like, you know, the boys talk highly about you.
Aww.
She was telling me, she's like, boys clearly, you know, love you and whatever. I said, man, they're such fantastic children. And they really are. They really, really are. And so we got to know each other. And we just purposed, you know what, let's raise these boys the best we can. Let's give the best of ourselves, right? Yeah. And leave the adult things for adults, right? So that was at least a clear conversation that we had. Yeah. I think the other thing also was knowing where I stood with Marcus. Okay. Like square and fair. Just knowing that chapter was closed, just like mine was closed. Yes. And now it's us. Yeah. And we told each other, we said, you know what, now we have been divorced. We're not doing it again.
We're not doing it again. Yeah.
So we are going to die in this thing.
We bet.
The real till death do us part.
It is happening.
Like sometimes we even tease each other. He's like, no, Lolo, what if you find I have another child? I said, man.
What kind of teasing is that? Yeah. You guys must be extremely comfortable with each other.
Very, really are best friends.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, dude. I will get annoyed with you for all of 6 months and then we are back where we started.
Really?
Because we have decided this thing, back last. But I think also it's having gone through the motions and this stuff tears family apart.
It does.
It messes with children. Yeah. It's really tough. So I think being there, you're just like, if it's working, let's keep it working. Yeah. And let's protect what we have. And we really try to protect what we have. We really do. Part of what we do in maybe that transparency is the ability, for example, to holiday together.
That, for me, blew me away. I was like, what? You're in the same room? Okay, same space?
Same hotel.
Nice, doing the same activities.
We're together.
Okay.
Like, she'll have her room, we'll have ours. The kids are sharing. The boys are together.
Yeah.
My daughter usually is the one with the nanny. But many times we'll take a house.
Okay.
Because a house is usually just easier. We'll hire a chef or whatever. And yeah, we've gotten to respect and love each other in our spaces.
Yeah.
Right? She's dated.
Okay.
And we've met
the people she's dated.
The people she's dated, and we've had conferences about the people that she has dated together, because we have said, is he okay? Is he not? Are we feeling this vibe or not? Will he fit into
our dynamic?
Right?
Yeah.
And so far, so good.
Yeah.
So far, it's working well. Her family, our family are really one.
Okay.
You know, her mother, her siblings, very close to us. Especially because of the children.
Because of the kids, yes.
My family, Marcus's family. So we've all integrated in a nice way.
Yeah.
Of course, sometimes, you know, we get those comments, you guys, Mochisusa. Like,
what can we do?
Guys, what works for you?
You know,
if it works for you.
To each their own.
As it's working.
Yes.
And we also found that the kids were so happy.
Yeah.
Honestly, the kids were really happy. Yeah. Imagine going for New Year's and you're all together. And you don't have to be calling mom on the phone or dad on the phone.
Yes.
You're right there together.
Yeah.
And I can't explain it, but it gives me like incredible joy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Seeing that.
Also, I have this comfort, like I have another mother. If anything happened to me, my daughter is fine. Yes,
someone you can trust.
Yes. Yeah. And I know she feels the same way.
Yeah.
If anything happened, we are here.
We're here.
Right? We're here.
Yeah.
And so I think having that comfort and that trust with another individual for your most prized possessions, which is your kids.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's a real deal.
Yeah.
Like God just gave us a deal.
He really
did. This was a deal.
This combo deal came with some bonuses.
It turned around and came with some bonuses.
Yeah.
So I really love it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that work in your favor, but I think for me, having the resolve to make it work, having resolve in general, just in life, will get you far, because you're not going to just fall for anything. You have a true north. You have like, this is the thing that I'm going to do. It's going to work. Come rain, come shine, I'm going to make it work. And I think for the three of you to be aligned on that resolve is magic. I want to ask you why you feel, or because in your experience, I'm sure you've had other people's stories, what things you have noticed in those other dynamics that typically cause drama or contention that maybe you guys have managed to overcome with your resolve and the transparency and the honesty. But what have you seen in other dynamics, for the benefit of those who are watching, that seems to create an unsafe space and therefore an unhealthy dynamic for the children and also for the people, the individuals involved?
There's a lot in that one. I'll start with maybe psychological safety.
Okay.
Because really that's what it is. The ability as husband and wife to have that safety psychologically, that we're okay.
Yeah.
Member X is not a threat
to this
relationship.
Yes.
They can complement it, but they're not a threat to it.
Okay.
And I think that ability to create that safety for your spouse, because I have to create it for him, he has to create it for me.
You. Yeah.
Has worked for us. Many people don't crack that code.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you find, if as an example, because blended families go either way. It could be the woman with the previous relationship and she's on with the kids.
True.
It could be the man with the previous relationship and he's on with the kids. So it can go either way.
True.
But that ability to create that safety for your partner and to say, listen, I'm all in.
Yeah.
The other chapter ended and it is closed.
Yeah.
Here on out, it is friendship, it is parenting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that for me is number one. And live up to it. Yeah.
Yes.
Live up to it. Don't now start doing funny things
in the background.
right? Because I had a friend who every 3 years he would buy his ex-wife a car.
I'm sorry,
said,
what?
my friend,
What are we doing?
The children have even grown. Like, what's this story? Right?
Like, what's the
Why?
Why are you buying her car?
And he's just like, but it's just something I've always done. I'm like, bruh, this is currently your relationship.
Yes.
This is your well where you're drinking from. Let's close that
the other chapter. Yes.
That chapter now has got to be independent and ride their own wings.
True.
And unknown to him, it was even creating problems for her partner.
Imagine that.
Like, but why are you buying my
wife a car?
It's like, it's just something I do. I'm like, no, please. So you could see there were unresolved things somewhere there.
Yeah.
Like, let go completely. Cut off. I think for me, maybe the other one is that, and tied to this is boundaries.
Yes.
The boundaries need to be discussed and set. Someone could say, I've set boundaries. Which ones?
Where are they? What do they sound
like? Have
like?
we talked about them?
Yes.
Because boundaries could be financial. Boundaries could be time. Relational. You, maybe, let's say you used to check in with the kids every so often. Right? How does that work? What does a check-in look like? Is it just you and the kids? Is it you guys as a family?
Yes.
Is this person included in that conversation? Our oldest is in Serbia right now, at school. And when he calls, even if he calls Mama, if he calls me, it becomes a family call. I'll loop in everybody comes in.
Yes.
If he calls her, she loops everybody in, and then it's a
full group conference call.
Unless he has said, "Mama, I just want to talk to you," or if he just wants to talk to Mom, or he's just calling Dad, right? But where it's open and whatever, all of us are in it, you know. And the last time I missed, I felt so bad. I was asleep.
Oh dear.
I was so tired. I'd slept, and then they had the call. I said, "Why
did you wake me?"
They did actually. They tried, but I was so tired. So be clear about the boundaries and set them and live up to them. I think for me, the underlying theme of everything I'm going to say is walk the talk.
Walk the talk.
Walk the talk. Yeah. Live up to the deal.
Yeah.
The only way you can build trust and keep it is if you don't break it.
This is true.
Yeah. And the breaking is very easy in these situations. It just takes one wrong move, you know. Yeah. And so I think that ability to say, like for us, I remember when it came to discipline, it was a thing of we had to be clear. I can be a bit of a disciplinarian. Marcus is actually, he's more of a disciplinarian. He just does it differently than me. He can be very firm and very tough, but he can also be incredibly loving.
Yeah.
She's too like that. She can be tough on one end and then incredibly loving on the other side. So we had to understand where all of us win in raising this kid, so that you get also a holistic child.
That's true.
Otherwise, you can get a schizo child. Because they know play here, play this one, play like this. So putting up that one united front, there were times when we didn't agree on things. And there were times when she didn't agree on certain things and she'd really lecture us.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, I agree, she was right. But it's good to also stand for what you believe in and be like, I'm not going to tolerate this. It's just not going to work, right? And we all align. Where the challenge comes is when there's no alignment.
That's it.
Okay?
Yeah.
I've seen couples where mother of child has such strong views about certain things. But those views are not shared with the other parties.
Yes.
In fact, they don't agree. And then there is contention. But it's because I'm their mother.
Okay.
As if because you are their mother, your word goes. Even when what you're saying is wrong.
Is wrong, yeah.
So there has to be that level of maturity, which many times is lacking. But in situations like that, I would say, keep the peace.
Okay.
If that is how someone believes they want their thing, they want their thing. And really, these are their children. There's very little you're going to do about it.
To influence, yeah.
So you can accept and honor.
Yeah.
Accept and honor the request and move with it. Yeah. Where the request is detrimental,
like it's going to disturb the peace or
the child,
the stability, or the child, yes.
I think you have to get clever. This is where the wisdom of God comes in.
Wisdom.
Because there are sometimes you see certain things and you're like,
Discussing.
This one is not working. You will find a way to undo it.
That's true.
Gently, quietly, and at the end of the day, protect mommy. Me, I always say, protect the parent. Protect dad, protect mommy, protect yourself. Because ultimately, the child must have a healthy perception of the parent.
The parent, yes.
Right?
Yes.
You've had women who are maybe in an abusive relationship, but to the children, the abusive partner is
the best.
The saint.
Yep. It happens.
And they've done that on purpose. Later on, as the kids grow, they can open up and show.
When they're able to take
when they're able to have that conversation. But when they're younger, for me, under 15 is just a no-no. Just cover up as much as you can. Protect, create this safety net for the children, because it's very important for their psychology and their health mentally.
Yeah.
Children who have been exposed, because some people have said, oh, but why do you pretend? I'm like, my guy.
Who is pretending?
It's not pretending, it's protecting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let the world hammer them when they are 16, 17, 18.
They have some
muscle. It's okay. Adulting will happen.
Yeah, eventually.
But where you can protect it, cover it up. Right?
Yeah.
We don't agree. We may sound rosy. We don't agree all the time. There are some things we'll just be like, okay, do you? Right?
I'm not going to fight.
Yeah. Right? But it's about the peace. And we found very nice ways to have those private adult conversations. And I've also learned chain of command. Chain of command ideally is Marcus.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Again, going back to he's the denominator. I lean in a lot to him.
Okay.
When I'm struggling with something, I will go to him and say, help me deal this. It's like, leave it to me, I'll manage.
I'll figure it out.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm guessing she does the same thing. She's dealing with something or she's not happy with something I've done. She will pass it by him. Sometimes she'll come to me direct and be like, this one, no, I didn't like it. And we'll talk through it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think boundaries, psychological safety, and then I think maybe the other one is really just respect. Right? We're adults, Banange. Respect that there was a relationship that happened. Sigwe was so sick. Somebody was before you. Like, you know. I tell you, I can be rational. Because for me, in some shape or form, I remember, and for me, this was sunk to me by my mother-in-law. Marcus's mother told me, Lolo, you're entering this relationship, but remember,
there was someone before
there was somebody before you. And there's fruit. So don't come on a high horse.
Calm down your high horse.
Quickly. Basically, she was just telling me, honey, calm
down. Yes.
But it helped me.
Okay.
Because sometimes people come with these unrealistic expectations. They think because I've come, the family must throw out the other person. But how? It's there.
Yeah.
You think because now you're the new sister-in-law.
Or the other person
she should not
be.
And that's what creates problems.
That's true.
Unrealistic expectations and lack of respect for what was.
What was, yes.
Honor the fact that this person, my friend, was fully married. Introduced
into
they baptized the first child.
Yes, and the second.
Let's address these things. Yes. You baptized the first child, you had the second one. Your mother-in-law nursed you. So where do you come off thinking now mommy cannot talk to the other woman?
Imagine having to navigate all those stakeholders. You don't talk to her. Also, you don't talk to her. You throw her out.
My in-laws, they'll just slap you for free. Because they'll be like, look at this. Stop it. Immediate. You see? So I like that my mother-in-law just took me aside and said, I want you to know. She's our daughter. Yeah. She says they are not together, conquer. She's our daughter.
She remains a daughter.
Because of the children. These are our children.
Yeah.
So I want you to love them and I want you to love her.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. It was
sobering
talk. Because I was looking at my mother-in-law saying,
and it came at the beginning.
Yeah. At some point I even first feared. I said,
what am I entering?
Is this channel really out?
The way they are assuring me.
But, and then I got to see the dynamic with my sisters-in-law, my brothers-in-law. When it's one big family. Yeah. She's part of the family.
Yeah.
So the minute people understand that, Bambi, the other member really was part of the family. Even if they were abusive, even if they were messed up, they are still They never really disconnect, especially if you have kids. Where there were no children, that relationship, like me and my, there's no relationship whatsoever.
Yeah, no tie.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But where there was children, they tend to bond you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, they tend to bond you. So I think it's very important that respect that dynamic early on.
Acknowledge it.
Accept it and respect it.
Yeah.
Early on, it will give you peace.
Yeah.
My God, it will give you peace.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Some in-laws, even on both sides, can be quite difficult.
Problematic.
Ignore them.
Yeah.
You've been in a corporate setting. You go to work. Not all your colleagues are nice.
This is true.
Not all of them are the easiest to navigate, but you managed it. It's the same way.
That's it.
Manage the people. And like I kept saying, use your person.
Lean into
their strength. These are their people.
Exactly.
He knows how to navigate the triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like you. Yeah. You know how to manage your mother better than anybody else.
Yeah, that's true.
Your husband cannot do it for you. You're the one who has to manage your people. You have to manage your brothers. Yeah. And so those are part of the things. And also I think sometimes if your family is accepting of it, it makes it easier. Yeah. The challenge is when the families don't. There's some
tension there.
At that point, my advice would be, as a couple, be clear on what's important to you.
Got it.
And then let that be the guiding light, right? As an example, my husband says his grandmother is one of the most important people in his lives. Fact, right? So many times when Michara says something and we are not in agreement, you see everyone just disturbed.
It's not okay.
Because you're like, the matriarch has spoken. What are we going to do? But somehow you manage to navigate it. A lot of conversation happens, explain to her, you see. And then it's like, hey, okay. Right?
Maturity.
And also take advice. There are many times I've had to take advice, right? Especially where many times someone comes and says, Lolo, pull back a bit on certain things because you could confuse, you could create a dynamic you don't want.
You don't want, that's true.
And they're right.
Yeah.
And so you pull back a bit.
Yeah.
But then, what's working?
Keep
doing that one and do it well.
Yeah.
I think also the people, by the way, Christians, non-Christians all struggle.
That's true.
But I feel like if you are prayerful and if you are really grounded, you're serving, you have a great ministry that you are planted in, get advice, get help. There are times when things can be really difficult.
Rough.
On the children's side especially, like teenagers will teenage.
It's hard.
Like recently, we were all complaining how they're quiet.
They're not saying anything.
They're not giving any updates. What you guys?
What's up?
And then you have to accept, man,
they're growing.
We're in that stage now where they're not running mommy this, mommy that, mommy that. They're figuring things out for themselves. They're doing things on their own. And so how do you manage that dynamic? Because for me, it scared me. Because remember, Mom had them for the first part. I have had them for this second part. Now they're gone.
Yes.
So none of us has them. Wow. So we're all like, what do we do?
What's happening?
What happened? So me, that's where I am right now. Like I'm there reflecting, saying,
are they okay?
Like, okay.
Yeah.
So when they call, like, who do they call first? You go through those things. And this is me being really vulnerable because sometimes I'm like, okay, will they call me or will they call Mom first? But then it's like, you know what? It's okay if they call her first.
Yeah.
Yeah? So like, it's okay if they call her first and then they call me second.
Yeah.
And it's just what it is.
It is.
Really, honestly, it's what it is.
Yeah.
So sometimes some of those things, accepting that it is the reality of the situation.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've discussed, I remember one time we were discussing, Marcus, when these kids are getting married.
What's that going to look like?
We said we're the three of us.
The
Who are they removing?
Of the parents.
Who are they removing? It's not me. You can
It's not me.
It's not me. No.
Oh dear Lord.
No. And that's
Who would remove you? Who is going to remove you?
We are there, yeah.
There, the
all of us. We walk, over we are 3, over we are 4. We are walking down that aisle, 4 of us.
Yeah, and you need to think that far. Yeah.
Even my daughter. My daughter is not in isolation. She has 2 mothers.
She has 2 moms.
One is here, one is here. There, she's in the middle.
This is our family.
This is it.
Yeah, this is our family. I like that.
For me, I want this dynamic to just continue.
Yeah.
I've seen families like this. Let me tell you, Rachel, when we were growing up, do you know this was a real thing?
It was.
We lived with stepmothers who were good to us. There are so many people I know whose stepmoms were mommy.
Yeah.
In fact, they don't have that.
This is not my real mom. Yeah.
It's mommy and mommy. I have a friend. When I'm talking to him, I have to ask which mommy. He says mommy 2.
Oh.
He has mommy 1, mommy 2.
And mommy 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
So mommy 1 is his mom, mommy 2 is his stepmom. But they are equally vested in everything he does, in his wife, in his children.
Yeah.
They don't live together, so it's like a movie. When he's visiting, this Sunday is for mommy 1, the other Sunday is for mommy 2. And the kids know it's Kaka 1, Kaka 2, like that.
Kaka 1, Kaka 2. Nice.
So it's worked for people.
Yeah.
It's sad that the stories
that we hear
are always the really bad side of things.
Yeah.
And people can't imagine at our age we can have a healthy dynamic.
They're like, you're pretending. There must be a thing somewhere. Yeah. And I think in saying that it's working doesn't mean there are no challenges. Maybe that's why people misunderstand these kind of dynamics. It's that the challenges are there, but as the adults in this dynamic, we have decided that this is going to work and we're going to make it work based on friendship, transparency, honesty, building boundaries.
100%.
Works,
100%. And talk through it.
Yeah.
Talk through the challenges.
Yeah.
I think it's like in a marriage. When you bottle something up, it will burst.
That's true.
If you keep talking about it and addressing it and call for change and said, listen, this thing is just not working.
Yeah.
Let's fix it.
Yeah.
Right? That's the same way you should be with your co-parent.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
Be clear about certain things. Right? It's like whenever the boys go to Nairobi, we just know it's time for party.
Really?
They come back fat. They come back. And so the dad is always like, guys, I sent you fit,
healthy.
You just go and eat and sleep and do nothing.
You come back.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And we laugh about it because we've just got to a point where it's just like, it's fine. Nairobi is holiday.
Yeah, Nairobi is good times.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I must admit, she's fun.
Yeah.
Like, let me tell you, like you will party. Actually, I think when we go out more there than
when you're here.
More there than here. Because there's always things to do. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm not surprised that the kids will have that kind of fun.
Yeah.
So when you are aware about those kind of dynamics, it just creates peace.
It does.
Let me tell you, you can have peace.
Yeah.
Also know your boundaries. We all know who's scattered. I'm not going to name names here. We know the scattered ones. We know the organized ones. We lean on each other.
Yeah.
When it is holidays, we all know our strengths.
Yeah.
And we know who plans what, who does what, who. Yeah.
That's nice.
It helps.
Yeah.
It's come from over time. It's a journey.
Yeah.
It's a journey. I think we keep on getting better at it.
At it, yes.
And I think also, like the wilderness that God will take you through. When you've gone through the wilderness together and you come out on the other side together, you're stronger.
That's true.
You're healthier. You're stronger. And I think that has been a huge help for us. Like last Christmas, our youngest, her son was with us for Christmas. I miss that child. But it was like the best thing that happened. Yeah. Right? My daughter was like, if she could sleep in the bed with him, she'd sleep with him.
Really?
So it's those kind of things, like where do you keep creating such moments? Yeah. Like focus on the stuff that works, right? Focus on the stuff that works.
Yeah.
I think it will give you very healthy children. And even when the children have gone,
yes,
because now we're getting into that stage where they're all going to uni, they're going to school away from home. So the parenting is now offshore. It's away. You're parenting away from you.
From
How do you
you.
check in with each other?
Yes.
How do you check in on her? Be like,
Yeah.
how are you handling? Are you okay? How do you check in on us? Are we good? What's happening with the kids? It's that shared responsibility also now, you know, who can travel, who can go, you know, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
It helps, it really, really helps the children. Yeah,
I agree.
it really helps the children.
I want to ask you about before you had your daughter, and knowing that, you know, your husband had children, did you ever feel some type of way?
All the time.
Here I am trying to craft my question
No,
very
please.
tactfully.
All the time. You guys, and please not. Me, I was dealing infertility. It wasn't even just like as if I could sneeze and get pregnant. No.
Yeah.
So the boys, when they were about, what? I think Ash was like 7, the middle child. He came and he said, but Mama, why can't I have a sister? I said, wow.
Wow, indeed.
Yeah. And then he solicits his brother for backup because I think maybe me, I was there.
You were,
I think he needed power.
So
they came to me and they said, Mama, we have sat down together, we've had a conversation and we agree we want a sister.
Okay.
So what's up?
What's the deal?
I said, well, even me,
I want to give you a sister.
But it's just not happening at my time. But it will. So I said, oh, okay. So we wait. I said, yeah, let's wait.
Let's wait.
Your sister will come. So you can imagine when we told them we're pregnant.
That you were expecting.
Finally. This is like maybe 6 years from that conversation.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's a while.
And they've seen me go through this motion.
Yes.
I mean, we tried to keep it as private as we could from them. But when you're dealing with these kind of things, sometimes your hormones are in a different zone. And so they're the days when I would be cut with them and, hey, man. But they were such good sports, you know. So I would tell them, when I would be out of it, I'd tell them I was dealing. So I'd try and make up as much as I can, you know.
Yeah.
But they understood. They understood. And so when their sister comes, it was just joy around. We had her in Nairobi, and guess who
your attendant?
My attendant was.
You are co-parent?
My bonus mom.
No way.
That whole time in the hospital. I think she was the first person to receive the baby. Marcus was the first, but then while I was still living, I think she had already even arrived. Yeah, because my matron came and what, and then her mom, then my mom.
In that order?
My mom too.
Are you serious?
Because my mom flew in because the baby, it was an emergency.
Okay.
So she came like 2 days earlier. So mom came in a bit later. So yeah. So like it was our child, our daughter.
Has arrived. Yes. Our boys have a sister now.
And they were so excited.
Yeah.
They knew the name from the beginning and all of that. So it was such a warm welcome for my daughter. She's been pampered ever since. So
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
She has her brothers. She's the princess.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So the kids are getting older. I mean, you have two adults, an adult, almost adult.
Yeah.
Then there's a 15-year-old and your daughter, and then the little boy from the other side. I guess, what are you doing as a family to keep maintaining like a healthy approach to marriage and to family, like a family dynamic? Do you ever hear concerns from them, say from school? Because I know, for example, in step-parenting dynamics, you'll find the child who is not living in the home complaining about, maybe the kids at school have told him, oh, but like, where's your dad? Or where's your mom? She never comes to school. Like maybe it's one parent who shows up. Have there ever been concerns with the kids about the dynamic they're in? And maybe how have you handled them as the parents, the adults in the dynamic?
So no, they've never had a dynamic of, you know, those kind of questions around parenting. Luckily for them, they're in international school, but the school has a lot of this. In fact, we are the norm.
No kidding.
Yes, we're the norm. So a lot of the kids have divorced parents. And so they're used to that. Today I'm at my mom's, today I'm at my dad's. That dynamic is very common.
It's common.
So that helps.
Okay.
In a way, it's not a good thing, but it helps.
It helps
because we are together in this thing. So yeah, it's not strange. The thing that we have dealt interestingly is the adolescents. So our oldest had decided to form a mafia in this school.
Is that so?
Oh my God. So the school calls and says,
"We're up."
This child must be put under control.
Yeah.
He's the ringleader of the mafia.
Oh dear Lord.
See. What are they doing? Typical adult things. This is S2. They're, S2s are. Causing chaos. Left, right, and center.
Yeah.
So of course, we go for the parent-teacher day. They tell us the result usually of the, being chaotic is it shows in your grades.
That's
so the grades
true.
were dropping, and these are really brilliant kids.
Yeah.
So of course, Marcus kicks in. That's why I'm saying all of us know our
your strengths.
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you bring to the table.
When you are being foolish, the commander-in-chief steps in.
Yes.
Marcus said, "Ladies, step aside.
Step aside. I got this."
Sorted them.
Yeah.
The first one. When the second one entered, the same approach.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're lucky that we have that kind of awareness of our strengths and how to deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Of course, sometimes they'll say help them out on certain things. And so provide the environment at home. So for me, I'll be that structured. I'll be like, listen, let's do your timetable. Let's do your revision. Let's know when you have to read and all that. When you don't have to have sleepovers or you're on whatever, let's focus. So there's that, follow through. And mom as well. She'll be very, on them of where are we on this? What are you struggling with? How can we help you? Do you need extra classes? Can we go? So the school recognizes all of us are involved. It's not just the one person. And we've been clear from the onset.
Okay.
Because she had to approve the school as well. She flew in, visited the schools and said, okay, I'm okay with this school. Let's be here.
Okay.
Right. So we've had a very consistent collaboration on these pertinent issues. Luckily, she's also born again, which also helps. So we don't really have a conflict around religion and belief.
Yes.
That one, we are like, well, Marcus is just there, but at least us.
Yeah, the majority.
So when they're in Nairobi, she makes sure they go to church with her. When they're here, they go to church with me. Yeah. So we've tried to keep our oldest very born again, spirit-filled, tongue-talking.
That's nice.
Yeah. My daughter is now catching the fire. You can start saying, Mama, we're going to church.
We are going to church.
We go to church. She's still dodging children's church, but at least we go together. Right?
It's a start.
Yeah. The middle one is okay. When he comes with me, he comes with me. Yeah. I've also gotten to that point where I'm now releasing a lot of the reins.
The reins,
Really nurturing them into that adulthood independence, because they're going to leave.
Yeah.
And it's very important that you recognize when they leave, they need to have that foundation, and they know you'll support them, but you're also not going to take nonsense, right?
Yes.
So I think we're really in that in that stage.
I like that. Yeah. I like that. I've really enjoyed this conversation, and just hearing, when I heard Marcus share, I was like, I want to talk to Lois. Because sometimes I know how men be. They gloss over situations. No, but he sounded very sure in the way you guys are working. And I mean, we were convinced that this is actually working for you guys. And he spoke very highly of you, again, about the resolve to make your marriage work and how much grace you have extended him. Even when mistakes are made, you are there, like you're not going anywhere. You're praying and standing in the gap, on behalf of the family. So I was like, I must talk to Lois. I don't know grateful. In how long, but I will talk to her.
No, I'm happy to share a story because my really, when you see me fanning, please, this is menopause.
I get it.
Hot flashes are ridiculous. Women out there, you're coming. You will look at me and laugh. You will reach here one day.
Eventually. Yeah.
So, when God placed this on my heart, because typically this is stuff that has happened for generations, guys.
That's
We've
true.
had blended families for a long time.
Yeah.
The narrative, however, has been bad.
For the
It's
most
like if you
part.
have a step parent, you're doomed.
That's it.
Right?
Your life is over.
Yes. So for me, my encouragement is to the ones going to be the parents. We can change this narrative. We can love children that are not ours, like they are ours.
That's true.
When you see me with the boys, first of all, they look like me. Or I look like them.
Interesting.
So nobody
Can tell that they're...
But of course, always people look at me and they're like, these your kids.
These your boys.
You're too young. Oh, I'm like, hey.
I started
I said, you ask them, they're here. I said, this is our mom. And you know that we've all learned now to just go with our flow and whatever. But I think it is, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can create a very healthy dynamic as parents.
Yeah.
You can create a very safe environment for your children. They will be naughty. They are kids. That is normal.
Yeah.
But you can parent them in a very healthy environment. At least at your level, you be healthy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Be happy with each other. Love each other. Right? Respect one another. Honor each other. You know? I mean, every time I travel, I have to remember, you have to buy someone something. We've gotten to that point where she's my sister.
Yeah.
She's not just my, the boy's mom.
Yeah.
She's my sister.
Yeah.
Like, I think about her in that light.
In that light.
Without, utmost honor and respect and love. Right? So I even get concerned. Like the time she was sick, luckily Marcus was there. He was in Nairobi. But you should have seen me. I was calling like as if over...
You are...
Yeah. I was like, is she better? How are we now?
Yeah.
Have you gotten medicine? It's just because the relationship has evolved, has deepened to now where her health is just as important to me as mine.
Yeah.
Her work, her career, where she's going. Like, those are some of the things. I mean, honestly, I wish we lived in the same country. I swear. Sometimes I'm just like...
The country
it would have just
made the things a lot easier.
Yeah. Because then you're just like, okay, they can be here and then you can do that.
Yes.
And we can see each other a lot more regularly. But I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
One
Maybe
day
in the future.
she could get a job here and move.
Yeah.
But that's for me, I think it's possible, guys. It's possible. Takes work.
Yep.
Takes a lot of intentionality, a lot of maturity.
Maturity, that one.
A lot of maturity. I mean, you asked me that question, did I feel a certain type of way? I mean, you're there, you want a child, the child is not coming.
The child is not coming.
And then this human is running around being naughty, and you're looking at him like...
If only.
And you have to walk away. You say,
right?
Let me leave this one. Let me walk away.
Yeah.
I'll come back to this later.
Back.
Yeah. Or call the mom and say, come and take
come and get your child.
Come and take this guy. Right?
Yeah.
So it's natural.
It is.
It really is.
Yeah.
Even her sometimes should be there and she misses them. Yeah.
Naturally.
And she misses them.
Yeah.
And she misses the banter. Having a full house is a different thing.
That's true.
Now, when they leave, they come on holiday, then they come back. And now she's just left with the one. When you had a full house and the place, of course, it can be messy when all these boys are there.
Yes.
But it's just that wholesomeness.
Yeah.
So I'm sure even her, she felt a certain type of way. But you get to that point where you're like, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. They're in a safe home. They're in a healthy home. She has no doubt that I have nothing but love for these boys.
Yeah.
The same thing. I mean, I'm just looking forward to the time when she can take Ninka and just say, please just have her for 2 weeks. So she asks Bambi. She's always asking for her baby brother.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to see my baby.
Yes.
Can I come? So I know there will be a time when, like, I'm just waiting for the longer summer break.
Yes, yes.
And then I've actually really thought about it.
Okay.
It's like, just go and spend like a month there.
Yeah.
And come back.
Yeah.
So it's some of those things where try things, try new things. Don't be afraid. I remember the first time we suggested we holiday together. It was
strange.
Marcus was like, how does this work? I said, you know what? We won't know until we try. Right? So we were like, okay, what do we do? Said, let's book
an
Airbnb
hotel.
Let's see where we're going. And we pulled it off. And it was such fun. It was such fun that from that time, we're like, this is what we're doing.
We're going to do this.
This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're not doing this thing. If we can, let's do it together. Because we all know, I mean, we have crazy schedules, but we'll try. We will block out our window. We'd rather carry laptops.
And find pockets of time to work. Yeah.
But it's by far maybe. And then we found our friends, you know, her best friend. We've got family. We've got people that normally we will holiday together. With, or we'll travel together. As we're very village people, by the way.
Community.
We love village.
Yes.
So because we are always in those kind of things, it makes it very easy to come together.
Yeah.
And we can holiday.
Yeah.
Together, and it's not awkward.
It's not awkward, yeah.
She's also comfortable. She knows the people well. Like I said, this was her family. It's her family. So she knows the people. We know our friends very well. They know her. So it's very comfortable space. I think also, this one, I don't know if I should say on camera. No.
You'll leave it.
People may judge me. But, you know, sometimes you lean into people's strengths and milk it, right? So let me just leave it at that.
Yeah, just let's leave it at that.
But it's possible. I would like to see, honestly, more families
making it work.
Yeah. And increasingly in this era where divorce is so rampant, you guys. Like people are married for 2 years and then but they have a child. And then they go into their next relationship, have another one. That one also. Then they have so you find a person 4 relationships later, 5 children.
And it's like, wait.
But it's a reality and it's a dynamic.
Yes.
You've got to figure out how you're going to manage the moving parts. Me, I've told you, we have 3 sets of grandparents. You imagine those ones who have had, you know, children from maybe 3 different relationships. Now you're dealing tribes, clans, language, right?
Yeah, figure out how to kind of merge the different facets of your dynamic.
Even when it comes to naming, you know, it can complicate things.
That's true.
Because also for the children. So creating that safe space where they know, I've got many moms, I've got many dads, protects them in a way from what children do. Because you'll always find bullies who want to talk, you know, a bit of rubbish. So arm your children to be able to say, hey, guys, but me have 2 moms. What's the problem?
What
you have one, I got 2. Who's on the winning side? Right? And it's a good way to drive that narrative as well. Because that's the reality of where they are. Let them not shy away from it. Let them not feel scared about it's not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
No.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
It's something that it's a situation you found yourself in.
And you're trying to make the most of it. Yes,
I'm all for people remaining honestly married.
Yeah.
Marriage is beautiful.
Yeah.
I would like people to stay married, but time will it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Another day when you invite me, we'll talk
about the other side of things.
But if your family is blended, find a way to make it work.
Because it's possible.
It's very possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't like to say for the sake of the children. No, even for your own sake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even for your own sake. You want that peace and
harmony and
harmony,
sanity. Yes, right? Yes.
I want to be in Nairobi and I'm not looking over my shoulder because someone is trying to kill me. You understand?
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. Yeah, and eliminate you from the picture. These things happen. They really do. I think for me, you've said so many things that have stood out for me. And I hope that people in scenarios like this can draw lessons from how to make it work. I think for me also, ultimately, the goal is like, if you find yourself in a situation like this, you want to try and break a cycle, because we've talked about, children growing up in broken homes, and then those children get married and kind of repeat what they saw. But if you're in a situation like this and you're like, man, I have these lemons, I'm kind of going to make them work, purpose to make them work, so that the children that come out of this dynamic can go on to be healthy adults who then have their own families and raise their children in a healthy way with a healthy view
100%.
of marriage and family.
And I think for us that was very sobering.
Yeah.
Because we've come from very healthy families. Very healthy families. Marcus's parents are still married.
Yeah.
My dad passed, but they were married. So you've come from very healthy families that stick together.
Yeah.
But we've also experienced divorce in our families.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we've seen those that have ended so badly. And the impact it has had on the family, on the children. So where you can avoid it and make it work, make it work.
Yeah.
Right? There are some situations where safety first. You need to get away from that toxicity.
Absolutely.
100%. But where there's healing and it's possible, re-engage.
That's true.
And just have a wholesome relationship, especially with the children.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of that day, you're the parent. You know, you're the parent. You be the adult about it.
Yeah.
I don't have to like you to relate with you as a parent. That one I've come to realize.
Yeah.
I have a couple of friends. They really don't get along individually.
With the co-parent?
Yeah. But when you see them parenting, they're like actors.
Okay.
But such good actors.
Yeah.
But the minute the kids are out of the picture, default setting.
Back to default settings, yeah.
They don't even talk to each other. But they will conversate when it comes to the children, making decisions about them. Yeah. So that, I can respect that.
Yeah.
But if there is a way they can actually be cordial, respectful, I'll settle for that. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to like the person, but you can be cordial, you can be respectful. You can be mature. Yeah. Again, I use the analogy of at work. All those people that you work with that you don't like.
Not everyone likes you.
Think like that.
Yes.
Because you get along, no?
Yeah, you get the work done.
Get the work done. We get along. We'll even speak highly of each other, please.
Hello?
But we don't have to.
You don't have to like each other. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's a space for that. I really would like to see a generation of moms like me who are raising children that we didn't push. But we're moms nonetheless.
But you're mothers. Yes.
We're mothers.
Yes. Yes.
We're mothers. I remember even before my daughter came, I always got a Mother's Day card.
Oh.
From the boys. Oh yeah, they're special. They would do them, one for me, one for mom.
Oh, that's so sweet.
They really can be.
Yeah.
They can be.
Yeah.
And so when you experience that love, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
I would be with them in hospital when they're sick, you know.
Because you're their mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said when they're getting married,
you are all going to line.
My friend.
We are the parents of
we will all stand up.
Please come. They play for you at Chitaguro song.
We are going to stand. They'll play the Masai one.
The Masai one and
they'll play the Chiga one. We will be there. Because that is it.
Give you a speech.
We will give our speeches. 3 of them.
Yes.
And of course, please remember their grandparents.
My friend,
Even
that's going to be a long wedding. Posing, you do destination
the boys are not ready. I really feel for them.
You better prepare them.
They're not ready. They're not ready. Because I'm just like you guys. But I think when you've raised them like this, it's almost expected. It's so normal to them.
Yes. In fact, it would be weird if you're saying you're not going to speak at my wedding. What do you mean? You're my mom. You've raised me. Like,
what happened? Right?
What's up?
That's the truth of it.
Yeah.
That's the truth of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lois, for being vulnerable and sharing, your story and how things work at home.
My pleasure.
I would like to think that for someone who is probably in the trenches where this dynamic is concerned, has picked a few ideas, to create boundaries, healthy boundaries, transparency, truth, honesty, and all the beautiful things you've talked about in making this work, I have a little something for you.
Oh,
yes.
You should have said this at the beginning.
I should have started with this. I wanted you to come and find out.
I know.
It's a body butter, a body oil by Rissa Naturals.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go smell nice for Marcus.
Oh, absolutely.
Tell him thank you for lending you to us.
Odi butter.
We are grateful.
Is this this is Ugandan?
It is Ugandan. It's a Ugandan brand. I know.
Oh, next time I should bring you coffee.
Oh, I want coffee.
Yeah, I want to bring you coffee.
I want coffee.
This is so nice. Thank you.
Enjoy
Thank
it.
you so much.
Enjoy it. May it add some flavor to your relationship.
Oh. And maybe just a parting shot for
Yes.
me is, ladies, if you can pray, commit everything to God.
Yes.
I have fought and I have won battles
On your knees.
on my knees, and I didn't have to say a word.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to speak, right? I told you, I think offline, these children can play you against each other. And you have to keep on leaning into the Holy Spirit to be that guide.
Discernment,
And
wisdom.
say, this one, pack, address. So, yeah.
The prayer part, I think ultimately, yes, we do need to pray.
Committed to God.
Yeah.
He will lead you. He will guide you. And He's been good to us. He's really journeyed us this far to where we
9
can be
years.
a testimony, man.
Yes.
For
yes,
people.
Yes. So be prepared. There's probably going to be a couple of people who are saying, can I have Lois's number?
Yes.
I want to talk to her.
Please. I'm happy to help.
Yeah,
happy to
so
help.
thank you. Thank you for allowing your story to be a testimony and a guide for other people. May God bless you and bless your journey. And yeah, please invite me to the wedding. Yeah, I want to see the speech
Of the children.
I'm here.
We still have a long way.
A long way to go.
Yeah, we're talking weddings, but my friend, I think they're rolling their eyes and just like, please.
Seriously?
help us.
It's not happening.
Yeah, they're like, can I
anytime
first get
soon.
a girlfriend?
Right?
Let's start there. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for keeping it The Good Wife. If there's something that has stood out for you, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, would love to hear from you. Love hearing your feedback. We'll be back again next week, hopefully, with another conversation right here on this channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Until then, God bless and bye-bye.